You were made to be ruled. In the end, it will be every man for himself.
What do we do?
We get ready. There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people. So when we needed them, they could fight the battles that we never could. Gentlemen, what are you prepared to do?
No offense, but I don't play well with others. Big man in a suit of armor. Take that away. What are you? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. If we can't protect the Earth, you can be damn sure we'll avenge it. Dr. Banner, your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster. Hey.
Seems legitimate. Welcome to Time About the Movies. Today, we are taking a look at the two movies of May 4, 2012. And, of course, these are the films that kick off the 2012 summer movie season. A season that, like as per usual, has a number of highly anticipated blockbusters, with two of the big ones being The Dark Knight Rises, which comes out later in the year. And, of course, we have Marvel's The Avengers. And I knew it all along. Yeah, so before anybody says, like, oh, what are you talking about? It's just like, it's a joke, folks. As McBain once said, that's the joke. And then someone goes, you suck, McBain. And I bring out my AK-47 and shoot the audience. But anyway, let's talk about The Avengers. 5 movies have been building up to this. Iron Man, Captain America, Iron Man 2, Thor, The Incredible Hulk. You know, we've been waiting for this moment to come for so many years now. We really didn't think we were actually going to get this movie because, yeah, they've been talking about it, but Paramount didn't have the financial... Marvel didn't have the financial... what's the word I want to use here? The financial safety net. Let's just go with that. The financial safety net to actually fund this movie. That wasn't until Disney came in and bought Marvel for $4 billion. Because of that, we have finally gotten to this point where we can finally talk about this movie that had been building up ever since Nick Fury came into Tony Stark's living room and said, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, Tony." And here we are. Let's take a look at the plot of this movie. Was it worth it in the end? Let's find out. This film stars the Avengers as Nick Fury, once again played by Samuel L. Jackson, director of the peacekeeping organization S.H.I.E.L.D., recruits Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, and Black Widow to form a team that must stop Thor's brother Loki from enslaving the human race. Of course, Captain America is Chris Evans, Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr., Thor is Chris Hemsworth, Black Widow is Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hiddleston is Loki, of course. New to the series in this movie, you have Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill. You also have Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. But most notably, you have Mark Ruffalo as in the role of the Incredible Hulk, because Edward Norton passed up on the project because of financial reasons and creative differences from the Incredible Hulk. And so Mark Ruffalo came in, and the rest is history. It's the role that he's been playing ever since then. And quite frankly, he's actually really good as the Hulk in the MCU. And like I said, in the last 5 movies, we've been building this up and leading to this. And there was little doubt that this would be terrible, but there was still that thought that the build-up wouldn't work, as something like this had never been done before up to this point. And everyone thought this was going to be kind of there was the hope of excitement, but there was also kind of the dread that this could let a lot of people down and be considered a disappointment. But when we saw the movie, we came to the realization that Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige and everybody involved in this knew what they were doing, because this was their greatest achievement that Marvel had done at that point. I mean, this was easily the best movie they had made at that point in time. I mean, this is exactly how you make not just a great special effects summer blockbuster extravaganza, but also a great special effects extravaganza with everything that made The Dark Knight such a great film. Every character in here gets their chance to shine. The main characters work off each other really well, especially in the end when they're working together to defend off the evil threat of the movie. The chemistry is great, and Joss Whedon, I mean, he wrote the script for this, and he knew what it took to make a good superhero team film, and he made sure that everybody involved knew what they were doing, had great chemistry, and it paid off big time in the end. Everyone in the cast is great, but especially Mark Ruffalo, who is really, really good as the Incredible Hulk. And it's clear no matter who you get to play the Hulk, as long as you have good writing, he'll play out very well. I mean, Edward Norton was a great Hulk because of the writing, and even though the 2003 movie the Hulk film was a bad film, Eric Bana wasn't bad in that movie per se. He was just given a really bad script to work with, honestly, and bad direction from Ang Lee. This is a film that's paced very well, and once that last big climax starts, the pacing really doesn't come to your mind because you're just enjoying the film at this point. You're enjoying all these superheroes you've come to know teaming up and fighting the bad guys off. And yeah, it's an incredible point in the movie where it's just like, the third act is really the high mark of the movie. Everything about it works on every level. The comedy, the fighting, the special effects, the dialogue, everything just works. It's perfectly put together, and you can't really go look at this movie and not think to yourself, wow, we're seeing something that we haven't seen on the big screen before, and it's delivering on everything we could have asked for and then some. Does everything about the movie particularly work? Not exactly. There are a few little nitpicky things that I could say about the movie. For one thing, I kind of thought that Thor entering the movie was kind of not a good way to open him up in there. I mean, he comes in about half hour in, and he just comes in. They don't really give it a clear explanation to why. All they said that was, oh, Odin's magic brought him back there. And I think there could have been a better way to bring him into the movie, because we set everybody else up. We set up Nick Fury, we set up Hawkeye, we set up Loki, we set up Captain America, Black Widow, and all these other people. And yet Thor just comes in and he's just kind of like, hey, I'm here too. Like, I mean, I also didn't like the way they killed off the character of Coulson in this. It's been long since. I mean, he dies in this movie. That was a big deal back then, but then we find out that he's actually still alive because he's involved in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series, and it was just kind of like, I don't know. Like, it really felt unnecessary. I mean, but then again, Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury's character said in the movie they needed to push. That's the only reason they kind of did it here. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought it was kind of weird to kill him off, especially seeing that, he was coming back for that TV show they were doing, and I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think it really felt like they needed to do that in there. But then again, it's only a nitpicky thing. My only other real complaint about the movie is that there really was no reason for the villain to be somebody else but Loki. I mean, Loki's already a great villain as it is. He doesn't really need to be assisted by another villain who barely shows up except for the first scene and in 30-second increments throughout the course of the movie. Loki should have just been the main villain of the movie. I mean, but then again, it is Tom Hiddleston playing Loki, and that's usually a win in anybody's book when you really think about it. But regardless, I really dug the hell out of this movie. It's not just a great special effects bonanza, but it's a great special effects bonanza that's on the level of The Dark Knight. The writing is top-notch, the direction is great, the cast is great, the story is good. Joss Whedon gets it right and proves that you can have explosions and special effects, but you can have great dialogue and great fun all around to go along with it. I mean, this was, at the time, it was my favorite Marvel movie, passing Spider-Man 2. That's how great it was. It was great, old-fashioned fun, exciting action all across the board. At the time, it was Marvel's greatest achievement of filmmaking, but of course we've known that they get better from this point going forward. But at the time, this was really the new norm that was the beginning of the new norm that was going to take place, because they went on this hot streak after this with very few misfires, and we'll get to some of those as we go on, especially the first couple movies after the Avengers, which, needless to say, the two that came out in 2013 were not the strongest ones, but like I said, we'll touch on those in 2013. But the Avengers, great movie. What more do you have to say? So let's go ahead and take a look at the Avengers for older people, and that is the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
Time in India?
Yes, do you think we'll be all right?
It's going to be extraordinary.
This summer, go someplace exotic.
Welcome to the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
With Judi Dench, Bill Nighy, Tom Wilkinson, Penelope Wilton, and Maggie Smith.
India is about what you bring to it.
I'm really loving this.
Just want a glass of water. That was a gin and tonic. I knew that now.
The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
It's tremendously exciting.
Rated PG-13.
Okay, it's not just the Avengers for older white people. It's mostly the Avengers for older British white people, pretty much. British white people, pretty much, because, yeah, you got Dev Patel, you got Judi Dench, Bill Nighy, Maggie Smith, Tom Wilkinson. The story follows a group of British pensioners who move to a retirement hotel in India, run by the young and eager Sony, played by Patel. And this is directed by John Madden, who gave us Shakespeare in Love, and written by Al Parker, who later went on to direct Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and Ticket to Paradise. And believe it or not, this is probably my favorite movie from this director. I mean, I didn't like Shakespeare in Love, but this movie I actually think is a whole lot better than that movie is. I think this was actually a fun movie overall. It wasn't a movie that was stuck so far up its ass like Shakespeare in Love was. And it works because the cast overall is great. You've got a lot of really good talent in here. You know, it's good to see Dev Patel in a movie like this where he gets a chance to shine and show what he can do as an actor as a whole. Even though he's not really credited in the commercial you just saw. But it's an interesting movie. It's a really fun film. It gives you a nice look at India overall. It's a really nice-looking place. The visual look of the movie is impressive. The movie overall is a lot of fun. The chemistry between everybody works very well. It was a real fun surprise. I was actually really impressed at how much I enjoyed this film. I actually thought it was very fun. And it worked because everybody was really giving their all. I mean, it's not a movie that's a groundbreaking film by any means necessary, but what it gives you in the end is a movie that is very fun and very well done overall. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. It was actually one of the biggest surprises I've had with a movie in a long, long time, honestly. I liked it. The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Definitely a movie that's worth checking out if you haven't seen it already.
You know of Barnabas Collins?
Just legends, really. 2 centuries ago, a witch turned him into a vampire and locked him away.
See you in a couple of centuries.
I am Barnabas Collins.
Are you stoned?
They tried stoning me. It did not work. What is the year? 1972. I shall restore the family to its former glory. How soon can horses be ready?
We don't have horses. We have a Chevy.
This age does remain a mystery to me.
He's just staying with us forever, is he?
What is your age?
15.
15 and no husband. You must put those birthing hips to good use at once.
Hello, Barnabas.
You're looking well.
Witch who cursed me to be this hideous creature.
Get over it.
You may place your lips upon my posterior and kiss it repeatedly.
No one talks like you anymore.
That was a regrettable turn of events. Dark Shadows. Experience it in IMAX May 11th.
Before we do anything else,
Witch, you cursed me to be this hideous creature. You may strategically place your wonderful lips upon my posterior and kiss it repeatedly.
What if I made you love me?
With what a spell.
With this.
Good Lord! Great googly moogly!
I mean, goddamn. I mean, welcome to Talk About the Movies, everybody. I apologize for that. Today we are taking a look at the 2 films of May 11th, 2012. And that is our first movie, and that is Dark Shadows. This is, of course, based off of the Gothic TV soap opera of the same name. And it features Johnny Depp starring as Barnabas Collins, who is set free from his over 200-year curse and returns to his ancestral home where dysfunctional descendants are in need of his protection in the year 1975. 1972, excuse me. But, yeah, basically a fish-out-of-water story, except featuring Johnny Depp as a vampire, kind of. And you also have a cast that also includes Michelle Pfeiffer. You see Ava Green in there, Jackie Earle Haley, Johnny Lee Miller, Chloe Grace Moretz, Helena Bonham Carter. And it's Tim Burton doing what Tim Burton usually does very well. I mean, I'll give it credit. There were times when this movie did make me legitimately laugh. I think, honestly, the best jokes are in that commercial I showed you there. I mean, the humor in here is really good. Like, there's a lot of good, funny stuff in this movie. Most of it you already saw in the trailer. The visual look of the film is very nice. This nice gothic look to the film. I mean, Tim Burton clearly is trying to do something here, and you can tell Johnny Depp wanted to put as much effort into it as he can because he was a fan of the television series with the same name. I mean, the movie almost gets there, but the rest of the characters and the plot really make no sense whatsoever. And that really is the biggest fault of the movie, is that the story, it's a fish-out-of-water story, and we've kind of seen this already done before. I mean, hell, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp were already in a story similar to this with Edward Scissorhands. I mean, it's almost the same concept, except Edward Scissorhands is somebody who's been who was born in the 1700s, is now, coming into, modern day 1972. I mean, it's not that type of movie, but it's almost close. And you feel like Tim Burton has done better movies than this, man. I mean, this is a movie where maybe 10 years ago, like, if this was coming after, you know, his flop with Planet of the Apes, I think this movie would have probably been a little bit more appreciative, and maybe would have had that cult following that a lot of his movies did, like Batman, you know, Beetlejuice, Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas. Not even cult following, but like Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride have cult followings. Batman and Beetlejuice were successes when they came out. This one I feel like should have been released 10 years prior to when it came out. Like, if it came out in 2002, maybe I could see this becoming more of a cult classic, but in 2012, we've seen so much better movies from Tim Burton with this type of a style to it. Much better films than this, and, you know, we're going to have a much better Tim Burton movie coming out later in the year with Frankenweenie, which I think is a far superior film than this is. It's not a bad movie, it's just a film that you feel like it's almost to the finish line of becoming something really good and entertaining, and if the script had been more structured, if they had better characters involved in here, maybe, just maybe, I would say, this is definitely worth it, but I'll give it this. It certainly is a lot better than this writer's next movie that he'll do, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which comes out the next month, and you would think that'd be cool, Abraham Lincoln as a vampire hunter, but not so much. We'll talk about that in late June of 2012 when we get to that point, but one last thing I should say here, Christopher Lee, this was actually his 200th film appearance. It actually marked the fifth and last time he'd worked with Burton before his death, but that's about all I can say about this. I mean, possible good ideas to it, but bad script, not enough developed characters to make me say it's worth a watch. But anyway, that's Dark Shadows for you, so let's go ahead and wrap it up with the last film, Toy Boat. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with our last movie that we have here, Eva Mendes in Girl in Progress.
Aren't we constantly changing throughout our lives? And isn't that a good thing after all?
I honestly forgot this movie even existed. I mean, the only thing I know about is that it has Eva Mendes in it, and it was directed by the same person who would direct Under the Same Moon. She also did The 33 and Miracles from Heaven. I had the title for a second there, and then it just couldn't get into my head. But in it, you have a story about a 14-year-old girl played by Sierra Ramirez, who's living with her busy mother, played by Eva Mendes, who ends up acting like a grown-up and going through different tasks on her personal list. And you also have Matthew Modine, Patricia Arquette, Eugenio Debrez. That's about all I know about the movie. I just think the film, I mean, I don't remember the film a whole lot in general, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. I've never seen it before, but it's interesting to see Eva Mendes in a leading role where she actually gets to act in something instead of just being like the hot piece of ass in an action movie or in a comedy in general. Not to say she's a bad actress per se, but it's just like, I mean, really, that's what people go to see the movies for, with her in them, because, you know, you get to see a beautiful woman on the screen, and, I mean, this is a chance for her to really show what she can do as an actress, but like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it's any good or not, but the reviews for it have not been solid overall, but, like I said, it doesn't look that bad overall, it just looks kind of generic, honestly. The worst thing I could say about it is that it kind of looks generic, but then again, could be a good movie without even me noticing it, so I don't know, maybe I might check it out one day, but I'm not rushing out to check it out, so that's Girl in Progress. That's all I got for you on that one. So a relatively quick episode of time about the movies this week here. Not much more to say about the two films that came out. We'll certainly have a lot to say about the three films on next week's show. Oh yes, you know it's one of those really, really bad weekends where we're not even wasting our time with an intro. We're just going right into this garbage because, you know what I think of when I think of Battleship? Aliens. Well, I'm sorry, I should do the alien meme. Aliens. Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. Today we are taking a look at the 3 films of May 18th, 2012. There's the numbers right there. This is not a very good week for movies, and I just want to get through it already, because I've kind of touched on Battleship already. If you don't know, this is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my life, and I've already done an extensive video on that. If you want to go check that out, there it is in the corner. But let's talk about this abomination of a film real quickly. Based off the classic Hasbro naval combat game, Battleship is the story of international fleets of ships who come across an alien armada whilst on a naval war games exercise. An intense battle ensues over the seas, land, and air. What do the aliens, known as the Regents, want? Well, what they want to do is rip off Transformers, because that was the big shit a couple years ago, and Universal said, we want our own Transformers too, so why don't we just go ahead and do just that. And the end result of this pile of garbage right here, like I said, I've gone to extensive length of how much I hate this movie, because I really do hate this movie so much. This movie made me so frustrated and so mad when I saw this. My entire review for this was nothing but a thank you letter to everyone involved in here for completely wasting my time with this movie. Everything about this movie is so awful. You want to know how bad this movie is? The trailers put it out there plain and simple how bad it is. Like, you cannot... The first trailer for this had me laughing so hard. I laughed for about 20 minutes the first time I saw it, because I thought to myself, there's no way this is a real movie. I had my Jack and Jill moment when everyone thought, Jack and Jill was a fake movie because it was on South Park. No, it was a real movie. I thought this was a fake film too, but no, it was a real film. And, yeah, not only that, it had people I did really like. Taylor Kitsch, another bomb this year, but John Carter was at least trying to do something. This movie, oh my god. Peter Berg, a really good action director who was 5 for 5 up to this point with Very Bad Things, The Rundown, Friday Night Lights, The Kingdom, Hancock, and then to follow it up with this film, just, wow, man, like, how good was that paycheck that you could have resisted on that? But then again, maybe this was penance for him to doing Lone Survivor, the next movie he did, because that film turned out to be a much better movie than this pile of garbage, no question about it. It's not even that this movie rips off Transformers. No, it can't just do that. No, we gotta rip off other movies. We gotta rip off Independence Day. We gotta rip off Star Trek. We gotta rip off The Hunt for Red October. And they really thought they were gonna get away with this. The rest of the cast of this is just sleeping through this production and having nothing to do. Liam Neeson and Rihanna are the only 2 people in this that were actually trying. Brooklyn Decker, which, by the way, for all you sick, twisted people out there, you want a Brooklyn Decker sandwich of shit? This weekend's the one to do it, because she's not only in this movie, she's in another movie later this weekend. And that sounds incredibly gross, but I know there's one sick freak out there that wants that, or wanted that back in the day, but hey, I mean, whatever. Yeah, the special effects look good, but as I've always said, they don't make the movie. A good script makes a good movie. This movie was so excruciating and so painful. This was almost as bad on the level of Sucker Punch, a movie that I had to suffer through. This movie was an abomination, a god-awful mess of a film. I hate this movie so much. I really, really do. And like I said, I've delved into this, how much I hate this movie so much, which if you want to see that, again, link in the corner, link in the description, see that video there. I got nothing else for you on this one here. Battleship is just a terrible, terrible film. Needless to say, avoid it like the plague. So let's go ahead and get to the best movie of this weekend, which in this case is the most tolerable one, but even then it's not a good movie. Sacha Baron Cohen back with a new film, and that is The Dictator.
I am for free press and fair elections and equal rights for women. Second.
Nigger, you were worth every penny.
What's this, a ruby? What am I, a Kardashian?
No, you're much less hairy. On your mark. Get set.
The sad part is, I wish there were more scenes like the marathon scene in that trailer we just saw, because that was the funniest thing in the entire movie. And when you have a movie where that's the funniest parts are in the trailer, that is not a good sign whatsoever. This is another one of these sort of mockumentary films, except not like Borat and Bruno this time around. We have Sacha Baron Cohen in the role of Admiral General Aldine, the dictator of the fictional Republic of Wadilia, visiting the United States, and he comes across all these crazy adventures, including people like Anna Faris, Ben Kingsley, Jason Mantzoukas, John C. Reilly, Gary Shandling, Edward Norton, and this movie is such a wild mess of a movie. I mean, this is the movie that literally killed Sacha Baron Cohen's leading comedy career. I mean, he was on a roll for a couple of years, but, you could start to see, like, right once Borat came out, if he was leading a movie, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't going to be a big success. Like, this one, and especially Bruno. Bruno was one of those ones that's just like, wow, this one does not age well at all. And this one certainly does not age well at all. I'm baffled that this movie, when, you know how Paramount did that, thing with the Naked Gun comedies, Naked Gun did a trailer that was about, comedy needs to be relevant again. They showed off all these different Paramount comedies, and you saw this movie in here, and it's just like, why is the Dictator in here? You couldn't find another Paramount comedy besides that one? Like, it baffles me that people saw something in this movie, because I didn't. This movie is a mess, man. I mean, granted, it's not a Love Guru type of mess, but it's not a good movie. It's not even a funny movie. And like I said, the best stuff we saw was in the trailer already. And that's about it. Like, there's literally nothing about this movie that I laughed at or thought was funny. I just thought it was obnoxious and annoying. It's a sloppy mess of a film. It's a movie that really is a clustered mess of a film on so many levels. It just made me go like, what did people see in this movie? I mean, it went on to become a big success in the box office, but I just didn't see it, man. Like I said, it killed Sacha Baron Cohen's star power for a little bit before he eventually kind of refined his career back in 2020 with, the second Borat movie, which I actually think is a really good movie, and also The Trial of Chicago 7, where he had a supporting role in that. But this movie, not so much. Yeah, this is a mess. This is not a very good movie, but it's at least tolerable compared to the other movies we've had to look at today. And it certainly is the better comedy than the one we're about to get to right here, because, yeah, aside from Battleship, this film we're about to talk about here is a real mess. Let's talk about what to expect when you're expecting.
On May 18th,
I'm scared. I'm scared too. Dude's crew, send him to the dude.
it's a comedy about what men expect.
You dropped your kid off a changing table?
My kid ate a cigarette.
I picked up the wrong baby from daycare.
What women expect.
Did you get my rack? I'm gonna need evidence that I have.
And what no one expects.
I want the epidural.
No, you said you didn't want it, and you said that would just be the crazy talk.
Oh, get me the juice!
What to expect when you're expecting.
Dog, get out of those bushes!
Rated PG-13. In theaters May 18th.
Oh my god, this movie is fucking awful. Oh, this one is a huge mess. I can't believe this was directed by the same guy that did Waking Ned Divine, Everything's Fine, Everybody's Fine, Nanny McPhee. This is the beginning of his downfall as a filmmaker, and holy crap, what a mess this is. The story follows the lives of 5 couples as their lives are turned upside down by the difficulties and surprises of parenthood. The cast includes Cameron Diaz, Jennifer Lopez, Elizabeth Banks, Chase Crawford, Brooklyn Decker again, Ben Falcone, Anna Kendrick, Matthew Morrison, Dennis Quaid, Chris Rock, Rodrigo Santoro. Lots of good people involved in here. It's written by a funny writer, Shauna Cross, who gave us Whip It a couple years ago, a very good movie. This film, oh my god, this is the definition of a movie that is literally fingernails on the chalkboard levels of cringe. It is one of the most unpleasant comedies you will ever see in your entire life. It's obnoxious, it's annoying, the jokes are not funny. This shouldn't be a movie. This should be the comedy that airs on CBS during the block of Monday night comedies they had. This would be sandwiched right in between Two Broke Girls, 2.5 Men, and How I Met Your Mother as that last show that CBS is trying hard to make the next big hit, even though they know it's a steaming pile of garbage. And sure enough, that's the type of movie this is. It's a television show disguised as a movie, and not a good TV show. Like, this would be the type of show that CBS would use on Thursday nights after The Big Bang Theory to try to make the next big comedy hit, when they know it's not a good show. That's how bad this movie is. This film is such a gigantic mess. Everyone is wasted in here. They aren't given any funny materials. Loud noises is the source of comedy in here. And I'm sorry, there's a way to make loud noises funny. And it's not with this film right here. It's not with this idea of the film whatsoever. And there was no reason to make this movie except the fact that He's Just Not That Into You was the big success from a couple years ago. But that worked because there was actually a good idea to it. There was actually a good cast that made it work. There ain't nothing funny about this. It's just obnoxious people, loud, annoying people who just use screaming as the only source of comedy, and that's it. It's cringy. It's one of the most depressing comedies I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, this movie is an ungodly mess of a film. Avoid this one like the plague. Please, for the love of God, avoid What to Expect when you're expecting. For God's sake.
Have everyone's attention, please. You know your kid won the goldfish and you flush it down the toilet? This what happens. You're gonna send me back to 1969.
On May 25th.
Yeah, these in the future?
That's what I'm talking about. The Men in Black are back.
You come from the planet Yuck.
In time.
That's a big fall. Don't put that up to your head.
Men in Black 3 is rated PG-13.
And welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the 4 films that make up May 25th, 2012. And we start off, of course, with our biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Men in Black 3, the third installment of the Men in Black series, coming less than 10 years after the last Men in Black movie, which was not a big success overall, but this one was coming out so they could try to end the series on a much more positive note in general, and I would say that they did indeed succeed in that. You have an alien criminal, played by Jermaine Clement, who kills the young Agent K in 1969, altering the timeline, changing the agency, and placing the Earth in danger. Veteran Agent J, once again played by Will Smith, must travel back in time to 1969 to before the murder and work with the young Agent K, played by Josh Brolin, to save him, the agency, the Earth, and humanity itself. And I really gotta be honest, this movie was one of the biggest surprises of that entire summer. I mean, this is a movie that was not only a great improvement over the last film, but I really enjoyed the hell out of it. This actually felt like a legitimate sequel to the original Men in Black, where it felt like the story was maturing, and it found a way to bookend itself nicely from the beginning of the last movie to this film. I enjoyed this one. This is a perfect example of good, fun, summer escapism entertainment. It's a film that doesn't insult the intelligence of its audience like the movie we got last week with Battleship. I mean, this is a really, really fun film. I had a good time watching this. Tommy Lee Jones, he's not in the movie that much, but you can still tell that the both of them have that magic that just works so well with one another. With him and Will Smith, it just works so well to a T, and you can just see the great effort being put in there with with the performances in this. But, Will Smith gets to work with not only Tommy Lee Jones as K, but also Josh Brolin as a younger version of K, which was surprisingly spot on. I mean, that was the big thing you take away from this movie. It's like, everyone was talking about back then, it's like they really went back in time and got Tommy Lee Jones from 1969 and brought him back for this film. That's what it felt like. That's how authentic this performance is. I mean, Josh Brolin knocked it out of the park in this movie. And as I said before, I like the fact that they brought the storyline of Men in Black full circle. The last 5 minutes... excuse me. The last 5 minutes does a very good job of tying up all the loose ends from the previous movies and actually bringing it back full circle. Like, I love the way they actually brought everything together, and it didn't feel like it was being forced in a way. It felt authentic. It felt like you could look at this and go like, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense overall. What makes this movie really work overall is that it's not 2 hours long. It's only about an hour and 46 minutes long. A relatively short movie. I mean, it knows when to wrap it up and not overstay its welcome. There was a lot of movies that came out around that time that were just going on and on and on. The aforementioned Battleship, which went on for 2.5 hours. But there are some complaints about the film in general. I will say that the first 5 minutes I thought were very underwhelming. You have this character played by Nicole Scherzinger, and she is a character they were building up before this movie was coming out to be like one of the main characters of the movie. She's gone within 5 minutes, so it's just kind of like, why did you even bother casting her for this? I mean, this feels really, really pointless. And secondly, as much as I liked Jermaine Clement in the movie, I thought his character wasn't that great in general. It's the same problem the second movie had. The villain wasn't all that threatening. In the first film, you bought Vincent D'Onofrio as the villain. He actually had some really effed up moments in that movie. The second film, the villain was really underwhelming because she really had the feeling of a character that didn't think her plan all the way through. Here I thought Clement was doing the best job he could with a character that wasn't thought out well at all. It really just felt like somebody that was just, just really was just there to be the stock villain in general. And there's only one big complaint I have. Other big complaint I have about the movie is the fact that you don't get a Will Smith song in this. I mean, Will Smith really should have stepped out of retirement at this point from music to do one more song. Instead, we get a song from Pitbull, which it's not bad, but it certainly would have been better if we had a Will Smith song in here. I mean, that one's a little bit of a nitpick thing overall, but overall, I did really enjoy the hell out of Men in Black 3. I thought it was a ton of fun overall. It definitely is a much better movie than the second film was, and it ended the series on a much more positive note. I mean, if the series had just ended with these 3 films, you could say that was a pretty good series overall, but of course, they had to make a 4th one, and yeah, that, not so much, no, just no. We'll eventually get to that one in 2019, so take that for what you will, but, Men in Black 3 overall is really good, so. With that said, on to the next movie, Chernobyl Diaries.
In 1986, Chernobyl Reactor 4 suffered a massive meltdown. The area was evacuated in less than 48 hours. Those who stayed behind were never seen again.
This place is home to the workers and families of Chernobyl. This place is off limits. We are here alone.
Anybody else have a story like this?
We should go now. It's going to get dark soon.
I don't suppose you guys have AAA out here.
We're gonna have to hike out of here. Hello?
Is that an animal? It was something else. Where are we going?
Chernobyl Diaries, rated R, starts May 25th.
Fucking white people, man. Literally, this movie is the definition of fucking white people. Like, you know, we're in Russia, Moscow, Russia. You know where we should go? Let's go to Chernobyl. What could possibly go wrong there? And, I mean, you see it in the trailer. It's just kind of like, come on. You gotta be smarter than this. A group of people toured the abandoned Ukraine town of Pripyat, which was impacted by the Chernobyl disaster, and ended up discovering a dangerous threat lurking. A dangerous threat that uses flat Stanley cardboard cutouts of people that white people like these idiots are able to find very convincingly, and just like, hey, are you in trouble? Obvious thing that can't move. Like, in I Am Legend, it made sense. I mean, Will Smith was the last man on Earth he thought he was, but this is really, really stupid, man. Like, you don't feel for anybody in this movie. You don't feel for these people that are coming from all over the world. You don't feel for the guy who's driving them there. You don't feel for anybody in this movie whatsoever. You want them to die. And for a movie like this, you can't have that. You've got to be smarter than this. And if anybody was going to be smarter than this, it's got to be the guy who made Paranormal Activity, which I said this was directed by him. That is not true. He actually wrote and produced this movie. It's actually directed by somebody else, so maybe that's the reason why this movie failed miserably. But still, you wrote the script for this. You're one of the producers for this. You made Paranormal Activity. You should be able to tell this guy that's directing this, hey, here's how you do this. Here's how you make this work. But then again, I wouldn't expect much for a movie that only cost $1 million to make. So, yeah. I mean, do I ever really just say, well, what's wrong with this movie? What isn't right? What's right with this movie is the better question. Just Chernobyl Diaries, just avoid it like the plague. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie. Let's get back to some good stuff. Wes Anderson's latest film, Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, hello. I'm Bill Murray. On the set of Moonrise Kingdom, a new film by Wes Anderson.
Who's in it? Frances McDormand. She's a police officer in Fargo. Edward Norton. He does a lot of psycho work. He's playing against type. Bruce Willis playing a policeman. Typecast, I guess.
Jason Schwartzman's in the film.
Oh, Tilda Swinton's in this one, too. She's tall. She's Scottish. She's pretty. She can do whatever she likes. And here I am, delivering my Rita Lorber.
Rated PG-13. Down 20.
Sold. Here's my card. Do what you want with it. I mean, you got Bill Murray telling you to go see this movie. How can you not trust Bill Murray with a movie like this? Moonrise Kingdom. It's largely set on the fictional island of New Penzance, somewhere off the coast of New England. It tells the story of an orphan boy played by Jarrett Gilman who escapes from a scouting camp to unite with his pen pal and love interest, a girl with excessive tendencies, played by Kara Hayward. Feeling alienated from the group, from the Guardians, and shunned by their peers, the lovers ascend to an isolated beach. Meanwhile, the island's police captain, Bruce Willis, organizes a search party of scouts and family members to locate the runaways. As you see in the trailer, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, Jason Schwartzman, Tilda Swinton, essentially the Wes Anderson regulars, are in this movie, and really, this is about as good of a movie as you can get from Wes Anderson. If you like Wes Anderson films in general, this is definitely the movie that you look forward to. I mean, this is a film that really delivers what you want to see in a Wes Anderson film in general. It's a movie that is very brightly colorful. The casting overall is great. The comedy overall is really good. This is a terrific film. It's a really, really impressively put together film, and I'm trying to multitask here while I'm doing this, which I probably should not do. There we go. I had to stick that card back underneath my pile here, like coins and chips and all that, but back to this movie in general. This is a really good movie. This is probably one of my favorite Wes Anderson movies he's ever made. I mean, it's a movie that is very funny, a great visual style to it, a great cast, really fun comedy all across the board. This is everything you can ask for in a Wes Anderson movie, and then some. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. It's a terrific film. Can't recommend it enough. Not much more to say about this one. Moonrise Kingdom, really, really fantastic film. So with that said, on to our last film that we have here, a movie that inspired a big comedy hit at the end of the decade. We have here The Intouchables.
Came from wealth. He came from the streets. Their friendship came from the heart. Discover the inspirational true story of a man who would bring a family together and change their lives forever. Don't miss Best Actor winner Omar Sy in the most awarded film of the summer. The Intouchables, rated R.
The Intouchables tells the story of a rich quadriplegic who's living in a mansion in Paris that requires a live-in carrier. A young offender, played by Omar Sy, who you'll later see in Jurassic World, turns up for an interview, but he is not really looking to get the job. However, to his surprise, he is hired. The two men then develop a close friendship. And as I said before, this is a film that eventually led to a remake in 2019 called The Upside, which featured Kevin Hart, Bryan Cranston, as well as Nicole Kidman. It was actually not a bad movie. It was actually a really good movie overall, as was this film. This was one of those big surprises that really kind of took a lot of people by surprise in general. I mean, this is a film that was very well put together. It was a film that was very well made. Was put on the shortlist for the Academy Awards, but it wasn't nominated among the final films for Best Foreign Language Film. But it's a really good movie, and I think it does a very good job of creating this small little story about these people, these two people who come together. You know, they're trying to live together in this world that they're putting themselves into. Some people criticize this in the same way they praise something like Driving Miss Daisy or Green Book. I think this is definitely better than both of those movies. I mean, Driving Miss Daisy is a good film. Green Book, not so much. But this movie was not a Driving Miss Daisy. This is like Driving Miss Daisy if it was much cooler and didn't fall into predictable Oscar schlock. This feels like they were actually trying and actually did a very good job of handling that. I think it's a very solid film. I think it's a well-made film overall. It's a film that doesn't get a whole lot of attention overall, but it's definitely one you want to check out. A very underrated film that led to a very successful comedy remake in the States here 7 years later. It's definitely worth a watch. I highly recommend The Intouchables.